All right. I would like to call to order the Perkins Public Library Trust for December 7th at 6 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Ryan Huckabee,
Here.
Linda Barta,
Here.
Melissa Mills,
Here.
and Charlotte Perrick.
Here.
And Valerie Hill is absent.
Thank you. Number 2, consideration and action on consent agenda. A, approval of minutes from the November 2nd, 2023 regular meeting. Approval of purchase order 2311033 to Roper Construction for exterior door installation, and approval of financial reports.
This is the door.
Anything outstanding in the financial we need to know about?
I don't think it's really changed that much from last time. 'Cause, I mean, we got POs open, but. No.
So that's the $2,500 for the door. This one.
Yeah. And that's a guesstimate. He'll bill whatever he gets in it.
So can I motion that we approve it?
Do I have a second?
Go ahead.
Do I have a second?
Oh, yeah, I'll second.
Thank you.
All right, then. Melissa,
Yes.
then Brian,
Yeah.
Linda,
Yes.
and Charlotte.
Yes.
Number 3, consideration of items removed. We had none. Number 4, public appearances, petitions, communications, or personal appearance. We have none. Number 5, consideration, discussion, and possible action to select Shandstones Masonry LLC to complete masonry work project, including the wainscot.
Wainscot.
Thank you. And pillars on north side of the new library building at a total project cost of $20,750, subject to negotiation and approval of an acceptable agreement by City Attorney Tammy Ewing.
Can I ask a question about this?
Yeah.
Is this the sandblasting? No? Okay. This is patching holes.
No, this is the new brick.
Bricks over down at the bottom.
Oh, there's gonna be brick at the bottom, and then stucco at the top.
On
Pillars.
the north side.
Okay, and then stucco on the, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was, I think I got a late quote on that too. I don't know if they put, yeah. So we had quotes at $20,750, $23,475, and I got a late one at $26,000.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That was cheaper.
and Zach is the one that did the block on the back wall. And he's semi-local, lives in Stillwater, went to Votech for masonry,
Very good.
I think is qualified. And that brick, I was telling Linda before y'all got here, there's 2 varieties. One's from Cloud Ceramics, one's at Acme. The Acme takes 6 to 8 weeks to get, and that's what Shen's bid is based on, is that material. And I think we've held that down to that wall months ago, and you can tell there's 2 different shades of brick. I think the Acme is not the best solution.
So all of those, so what we're ordering is that color combination of brick together.
Yeah, it's like a special blend.
Okay. Okay.
And there's not a huge quantity of it. if we picked one brick color and said, Acme, we need enough to fill this room,
Right.
we could probably get it quicker than we can.
A smaller portion.
That many different colors in a small quantity. We don't have that big of a quantity of brick.
Do you recommend doing that, or you recommend using the blend that you've picked out?
Yeah, I think the Acme blend.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I just took a shot at the other blend when I was talking to another salesman. He said, "Oh yeah, we've got one for that, but it's clearly a lot lighter along the left."
Yeah, it doesn't have the deeper reds in it like that one does.
So 6 to 8 weeks for the brick to come in.
Yeah, and that process doesn't start till, I mean, if we approve it, and it'll take X amount of time to get contract put together, put through the attorney, get it executed before
We can
he
actually do.
orders the brick. 'Cause he's not gonna order it till he has an executed contract. So
Right.
we got a few weeks till that happens, and then up to 8 weeks thereafter.
But we don't have to vote on it anymore. After this, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, if we decide to move forward with it, then after this meeting, I'll put together a contract, send through the city and get it. The process there, the sandblasting is still an item on the agenda.
Okay, yeah.
So the process is get sandblast done. And then,
We haven't picked out the color of the ephes yet.
but we do the sandblasting, the EFS guys, I would probably have come out, because they have a waterproofing, a fluid applied waterproofing that they put on. So we put that on the entire wall, so it's behind the brick too. And the brick goes, then the driving goes. So,
So the sandblasting is the first step.
yeah, and I've got a contract ready for that. I talked to Bob about that earlier today. I haven't necessarily pushed it when I figured out that the brick is that far out that if we roll down there and blast that wall, then we sit around a while before anything else happens, and everybody wonders why we blasted the wall. So when we get to it, I guess for time's sake, I would say that we could go ahead and issue the contract, get it executed, and then schedule that sandblasting to be done somewhere near
Closer to when that's gonna.
or whenever it makes sense.
As close as you can.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we could do it like right as the vote is kind of happening, and everyone sees the, oh, there's movement at the library.
We need to have a little bit far along before that, more than sandblasting.
Yeah. I motion that we approve it.
On what? I'm sorry.
I motion that we approve.
So what we're fully doing here is we are because the money came from T-Mobile, and it went into the library's agenda line. Only the library can spend it, but because it's beyond my spending limit, it's beyond Bob's spending limit, it has to go to the commission. And so what we're really doing is recommending this,
Commission to.
this person for this project.
Okay, so I motion that.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Thank you, Charlotte.
All right.
Oh, are we on 6 already? I thought we were on
We're
5.
on 5.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, Valerie. Or not Valerie. I'm sorry, Melissa.
It's okay. Yes.
Charlotte. Brian.
Yep.
And Linda.
Yep.
I was writing out Valerie's not here.
All right, item number
I think that's
6.
acceptable too.
Yeah. Item number 6, consideration, discussion, and possible action to recommend to City Commission that T-Mobile grant funding received in fiscal year 2023 for the purpose of exterior wall finishes and building utilities be utilized as partial payment for the masonry work project as described in item 5 above at a cost of $16,130.
I'm so sorry, then yeah, I blended two of them together.
Okay.
The first one is this who we want to use? The second
Right.
one, if this is who we want to use, is to.
Gotcha.
And why
I
is
skipped
the
it
money
in my head.
different?
No, it's the same money, but because we've spent, or some of this will be for
Spent.
T-Mobile, right? Like not the whole project, a little bit of it will be coming out of trust funds, and then that's the next one at the 4,620.
So the two, no,
So
I see.
these two add up to
Right.
the 20.
It's to the 20, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the rest of that T-Mobile money is on number, what, number 8.
Well, I'm really confused now, because item 5, we're approving giving Stone
Yeah, that's
Masonry
the-
a contract for the full amount, but then item 7 is approving a purchase order for a partial amount. I don't think we can have a contract and a purchase order.
For the rest of it.
So the purchase order would be to approve our portion that's left over, the 4,000 plus the 16. So the commission would have to approve the 16. We could approve the 4 and then just not.
So we'll have a contract for
Yep.
$20,750.
Right.
Commission will approve the 16. You have to approve a partial
Yes.
payment PO. Couldn't get more confusing.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to use up all
I
that
understand it,
T-Mobile money.
yeah, I understand it. I get it, so I'll make a motion, we approve that.
I'll second.
All right, Brian, Melissa,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
and Charlotte. And feel free to ask questions. I'll try to make it as clear as I can.
Item number 7, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve purchase order 23-12024 in the amount of $4,620 for partial payment for the masonry work project as described in item 5 to Sandstone Masonry LLC utilizing Perkins Public Library Trust funds.
Motion to
I
approve?
move, yeah,
Oh, yeah, good. I motion to approve.
That was way fast.
I move that we do that.
I second.
Okay.
Now that we all understand what's happening.
Exactly.
All right. Luckily, the next one's all condensed into one.
All right, roll call.
It's long. Oh, I'm so sorry. Charlotte, Melissa,
Yes.
Brian,
Yeah.
and Linda.
Yes. Item number 8, consideration, discussion, and possible action to recommend to City Commission that Talon Commercial Services be selected to complete exterior insulation and finishing systems for northern, southern, and western walls at the new library building at a cost of $33,870, utilizing T-Mobile grant funds received in fiscal year 2023 for the purpose of exterior wall finishes and building utilities, subject to negotiations and approval of an acceptable agreement by City Attorney Tammy Ewing. So is this one of those things too that we're having to approve so that the city commission then can?
We are recommending
We're
this person
recommending. Gotcha.
to the city.
And this 33,000 includes the sandblasting and the, no, that's a different thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
sandblasting's all by itself.
Later, okay.
This
All right.
is just the
That would
wall
be their
finish on
first.
the south wall, the west wall, the north wall.
So after they do the brick and the brick pillars, then between those, they're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I talked to this guy about potentially doing 2 mobilizations. Because today we could do the south wall,
Yeah.
but we kind of want to get the brick done. So I'm thinking there's a good chance we'll do the north wall, south wall. That west wall, we still have one more door to put in. We have electric service, we have rotten wood on top. So there's a few things to do there before we want to put this on the back wall.
Gotcha.
So, but I'm gonna be working on those other things in the meantime. So there's a chance that these guys may come and do north and south. And it goes really quick. I mean, that's probably a week's worth of work. You can go home for a little bit, come back into the west wall. So we may split the time frame up.
Gotcha. Do you have any use of this
These
company?
guys, yeah, I've used them. They're doing waterproofing for me on a health department job in Medford right now.
Gotcha.
I've never had them do EFS, but the guy I work for now has had them do EFS on commercial projects.
Okay.
And they're fairly large. They do a couple $1 million a year. I mean, they're well established.
And they're traveling from Tulsa, it looks like.
So with 6 and 8, we've spent the 50,000.
Yeah, we've reckoned.
Six.
Recommend.
And 8.
A little more.
Yeah.
And then there's a second quote there.
Burn a hole in our pocket.
Really close. I mean, about $1,000 apart. So we have a 33.8 and a 34.8.
Yeah. So fairly close, yeah.
And this guy used to work for these guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know that till after.
So we need a motion?
I'm gonna stay away from motion since I'm the one that's,
Yeah, okay, I'll motion to recommend.
Recommend.
Move to recommend.
And do I have a second?
I will.
Okay. All right, Melissa,
Yes.
Charlotte,
Yes.
Brian,
yep.
and Linda.
Yes.
Technically, you move to do something.
Okay.
And then they say you made a motion, which is kind of.
All right, item number 9, consideration, discussion, and possible action to select color and texture of exterior insulation and finishing systems for northern, southern, western walls of the new library building.
I was hoping Valerie would be here and bring some more,
That was 2.
but part of this process, I mean, they know we're using standard finish, standard color. There's multiple options there.
I'm so sorry.
So once we contract, they will send us submittals, and if we say we think we want one of these two, they'll give us a big piece of it.
And then you can put it up there and kind of look.
Walk over there.
Yeah.
Build everything up to the building. So there are all the colors. And I've tried to make it clear to Valerie that I am not picking the color. Because there's,
I know on the mock-up
These no
that
purple?
they had done, that it was more kind of this tan
That's what
color.
I had my eye on.
I mean, that's what was picked in, as far as the mock-up early on.
it's a big wall. It's
It
100
is a big wall. I don't know
100
that you
foot
want
long.
to go real light.
No,
I would.
especially
So
that.
I'm like, I want
that-
to stand somewhere in that second column. These are pretty light.
The north side too is gonna get moldy 10 years from now, because it doesn't get any sunlight.
Is the one just,
And all the lichen and everything.
is the one just below that,
Honey twist.
is that one dark enough?
I feel like that's gonna look greenish as when you get, I don't know.
See, and I don't know either.
And like I said, we don't have to make that decision today, but we need to.
See, I kind of like that one.
Is that looks pink
That
from
may be too
here.
much red.
Yeah,
It looks pink from here.
Huh?
looks pink.
It looks pink. Gotcha.
Well, I do feel a slightly different color will make your wainscoting pop more.
Right.
And the bricks are going to be this mixture.
Yeah. And that's kind
I'll
of,
bring together.
I like the chocolate chip better than the honey twist, because I feel like that's more like yellow.
It's darker yet. What's it called?
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate
Chip.
chip.
And then the lighting in here.
coconut shell and
Oh,
chocolate
here,
chip.
hang on. This is the other one, but this one's better.
Yeah, this, I looked at that
I kinda
spectrum
like that
brown
one.
too. Gray
Got
brown.
kind of got a gray cast to it, because this will have like the gray grout between it, right?
Is it dark enough?
Cement grout, whatever,
Is it dark enough?
It'll look darker when you get it on a big wall, won't it?
on a big wall especially.
Like I said, that wall's 100 foot long. This stuff will be about 3 foot tall, so you'll still have about 15 feet of wall.
Did you say that was better?
Yeah, I think this
And
is
this?
the one. I don't think any of this is dark enough red. If you go down
This
there.
is like, I brought it up for comparison because this is.
Well, and when you look at the bricks down there, there's more of like this color and this color. There's,
But if
there's,
you look at the old style, the 1920s brick, this brick might have 4 different shades of something in it.
In it.
Exactly.
It's not one color.
No.
brick.
Right.
So
So I'm like, but it melts a lot better together there.
right.
Yeah, so if I had to pick right now, I think I'd pick that one, but I don't know.
Well, and we could come up with just 2 or 3 potentials and I can get rid of samples. And then you got
Or the Swiss.
texture too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I just feel like I don't want to go as light. Nothing against Payne County Bank. I love Payne County Bank.
It's so light.
But because we're across the street from it, I feel like we need a
But
different
that
color.
color scheme is 1994.
Right,
There's a lot of buildings built at
Right.
the time that had the same ethos colors on them.
right.
On the same note though, because it is so big, we don't want to go too dark because the thing's going to heat up
Yeah.
like, no,
But I'm
so
also
fast.
thinking the plan too, because at the top of this, we get a water table piece, like a sill piece that's made out of that
Has to go.
that most times people will use an accent color.
Oh, really?
So,
Gotcha.
but we have the option, and I've talked to the mason, so we can't take action on it now, I don't think, but we could vary the design a little bit and look at doing a brick sill piece
At the top,
instead of
the ethos.
the ethos piece. And then we're not introducing yet another color.
And then it's
And
tying
it's-
it together.
Yeah, and I kinda like the idea of more of a brick sill piece.
Well, the front has brick all the way up,
Mhm.
so,
Yeah, I think that ethos little trim piece may look semi out of place on a building like that, I don't know.
Or you just paint it the same color as the,
Or it could be the same color too,
Yeah.
so it doesn't have to be an accent, so.
yeah.
So there might be,
you like chocolate chip? Or coconut?
I think that
Those sound yummy.
goes with the bricks a little
we
more.
just
I
need
don't know.
food flavors now, or what?
It's not my field.
I only put the ethos on this thing because I didn't know we had brick.
Those range.
In that
I'll
range,
just ask for bigger samples of
that area, yeah.
Okay. But then we might
I wish we had one in between these two.
acknowledge right now though that the brick, these contracts might change if we decide to eliminate that trim piece from the ethos and add it to the brick. I mean, might be a wash.
See, I think it's almost like a little gray.
It is
I
gray.
know, It
I
is.
mean,
You don't like the gray? You want it to be more brown?
I don't know, I need to see it bigger.
It's
So,
with the bricks not being gray at all. I mean, they don't appear gray to me.
No, but there will be gray between them, the cement between them.
So you like this darker brown, this like chocolate chip? Or you the
I
coconut
think
shell?
either one of those.
see, my other only thing is with millennial gray being so popular right now, I'm worried it's gonna be the turquoise of the 80s.
Yeah.
It's gonna,
It's gonna get dated real quick.
I wish they had a reddish brown.
I know, not this
Right,
quite
I
red,
need
but
right
somewhere
there.
between
Yeah,
these two.
oh. Like that color. I love that color.
What color is that brown brick, you think?
This one?
Yeah, the like brownish one.
I'll be better than this says most popular.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
You don't wanna hurt your phone.
What if we did, oh yeah, sorry.
Like this color.
Like, yeah, that
Yeah.
color or that color? What do you think is closest to
Kind
that?
of it's kind of a honey color.
Yeah. One of those two or that, any of those?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Okay.
You think we gotta get a gray because that's the color nowadays?
She's saying not get a
I'm
gray.
kind of leaning away from gray because I think it's gonna be dated here before too much
So
longer.
I kind of think if we try to make it be close
The
to
white
that,
houses with the black trim.
then we'll know it'll
They're
kind of
going
go
out of
because
fashion.
we've already got it in the blend.
Of all the
They got a
colors,
color book.
you pick coloring book.
This is, they probably have 400.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll send a picture of this to
Uh-huh.
the driving guy and say, here's the color range, so let's do some grays, browns, reds. Give you
I
some of
think
that.
there's enough of these that the browner ones would look good, I don't know.
Preferably not black.
But I think you're right. I don't think you want to go so dark. And like you said, over time, it's gonna fade.
Right, so you don't want to go too light.
So it's like, you gotta decide,
Well,
With the liners in the
the
dark.
blowing dirt we have and the mold, we can get on the north wall, the darker the color, the more it hides that kind of stuff.
Oh, see, yeah, that's good.
So,
Yeah. Because it sees no sunshine. Yeah.
Bold brown.
All right, so we need to probably just,
Can it be power washed? The ethos, like if it gets mold on it, it can be power washed. Yeah.
And we
there's
absolutely
a lot of
don't have to
buildings
take,
that have it all the way to the ground, and people hit it repeatedly with weed eaters. And over the years, you can see where it's scuffed, but, I mean, it's pretty durable stuff. I mean, it's basically a cementitious coating over the top of that foam,
yeah.
so. So out of this system, we get some insulation value. So we're sealing the exterior wall, then we're getting some R value on the outside, so.
We need Vicky here when we choose the color, don't we?
You know, you can get it colors,
Rather,
I pick colors in my house, that's
request your
why.
input.
All right, so we will just table that.
So if we table it, we have to select a date to make a decision, otherwise we can just take no action. and-
All right, let's take no action.
Okay.
I'd say take no action, and then we'll have, like I said, the submittal process, we'll have that opportunity to have all the options in front of us. Do some homework ahead of time, and then sit here and make a decision together.
All right, sounds good. Take no action on number 9. Number 10, consideration and discussion regarding update from Brian Huckabee on the progress of the new library project.
So this is where we can talk about the vote, the
Well,
next one, okay.
The sandblasting, we basically approved last go around, we're doing that. And I've got the contract ready to go to the guy, or go through the city process for review and then send to him.
Gotcha.
And that contract's for $5,200, and that's north wall only, removing all the loose paint. And it's kind of hard to predict what that wall looks like after, because I made it clear to him we don't want to go too far. It's that clay tile. If you stand there and hold sandblast.
Yeah, it's gonna knock a hole in it, yeah.
So the goal there is knock off just the loose stuff. So when he's done, you're probably still gonna see fair amount. 30% of the paint that's
Right.
there is probably adhered well enough that it doesn't come off easily. But then it's adhered well enough that this system can stick to it.
Gotcha.
So,
And I see what you mean about kind of waiting, because I think, once you start sandblasting the mural, everyone's gonna freak out.
I'd like to have some action right after the sandblast, so they'd be like, oh, okay, I see, makes sense.
It's,
We
yeah,
would just do it to be ornery,
Yeah.
you know.
right.
I mean, it's a nice mural, it'd be nice if it was in good shape and that wall was in good enough shape that,
We could keep it.
but
Yeah.
it's well beyond that.
And the reality is that you can't keep murals forever. They're gonna get old and they're gonna,
Yeah. Weather.
they're gonna weather.
And I think it was
Progress on the back door.
yeah, it was on the last meeting. I tried to call Tommy on the way over here and he didn't answer, but he's still, I think, trying to work it in to get that back door put in. But if you go inside the library, the frame is there, the doors are there, all the hardware is
It's
there.
all laid up against it.
So, it's a,
you're just waiting on Tommy to do it?
yeah, I think he's just trying to work it in schedule, and I think he's got certain guys he wants to do part of that, so. And I'm gonna try to hit him up about some of that other work on the back of the building, that rotten wood. And get that put on his schedule if he will do it.
Right.
Hit up some of these other guys, and it's kind of a true carpentry trade.
Yeah.
And some of these guys don't
Mess with them.
mingle. And it's high above the ground, somebody's gonna have to have a man lift or scaffolding, or, so it could turn into a process. So I might be creative when these guys get there, move their scaffold to the back wall and go home for 2 weeks, and then let somebody else use their scaffold to do some of that, and then they come back, so.
Depends on how many scaffolds they have and how they have to move them around, I guess.
If they need them for another project.
Right.
So that's really the only actual progress, I guess, working on the back door. The concrete's all gone. I don't know if you guys have all driven by and seen that. That's kind of old news now. But it seemed to be draining all right. I mean, I went by after rain and it doesn't seem, there's no big lake there.
Oh, good.
So it, for time being, it's in decent shape. So,
Happy to report there's only one dead bird this month.
Inside the building? Oh.
Yeah.
It's a big improvement from months ago.
Is there no action on that?
This didn't have a,
That was-
we don't have to have action.
Yeah.
This is though where I wanted to state something about the meeting that the commission had. They agreed to put the 1/4 sales tax on the February vote to the people. Jennifer and I were both there that night. It was a pretty quick decision. They pulled it up, immediately voted on it, and then later came back and said, oh, we didn't ask if you wanted to say anything.
Well, I was wondering about the wording of it. Who decides the wording of what is on the actual ballot? Who sets that?
So, part of that, and I would have to check with City Hall, but I know that Tammy, like our city attorney talked with Bob a little bit, but I know there's a whole other set of people. Yeah,
The
that were
attorney
there.
was here,
Yeah.
who spoke about how it would need to go before the board and how the legalities of it all. And he was the person that was the expert
Yes.
at it. But
It stretches
I
months.
understood that it's two separate votes. One is
Yes.
specific to the library, one is specific to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I think that's working against us a little bit.
Well,
I don't know.
It's
it might and it might not, I don't know.
Yeah.
The special election is for both of them, but then that way too, it makes it a lot easier. It's a clear-cut indication of where this money is going, so you vote on this item, this money is going to this, and so there's no muddling or anything.
Last night, Bob said that 1/4% for 10 years should be $1 million. Now, do we get that much tax?
we must. He called me this afternoon. We talked about that and some other things briefly, and he told me the same thing, that if
I don't
it
think we
passes
want
in,
people thinking that it's gonna be $1 million because
if it passes in February, it would go into effect like
July.
And I think I had quizzed before too, if we could prematurely get a bank loan against that before
Well, you
July.
think about the
but
gas money people.
He said that
That's for a lot
we'd probably have to wait until it went into effect. So if it goes into effect, if it gets passed, goes into effect July, then it's probably July before we get a loan and would be able to get both of those funds to go do it.
full speed ahead.
So, but he said if, I mean, say we spend 400 or 500, whatever, finishing the project, the remainder of that balance as time goes on is still in the library budget,
Right, and can be used
Could be
for
spent
more
for
furnishings and
programming.
more bookcases. We already know there's not enough bookcases here. I mean, there's gonna be other things that are going to be needed.
Part-time or full-time.
Right.
Employees.
Well, they cannot use it for salary.
Well, that was our discussion.
If I understood that correctly at
I
that
think-
night.
I think grant money came in that discussion.
Gotcha.
The tax money, I don't.
I think that's what they said in that meeting, but don't hold me to that.
I think it probably depends on what it says on the ballot.
Right.
If it says that it's for the building, then it probably needs to go.
Well, I think it's gonna be, I think funds earmarked for the building, but it's going to the library itself. And the library would, I guess we'd have more motions like this, where the trust would say,
We recommend, right,
using these funds. to
for
pay.
this project.
So. But,
I definitely think though, after the first of
But
the
we
year.
have enough money to go ahead and be doing things, don't we, before that?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so we've got, we're basically now spending the T-Mobile money.
Yes.
And according to our financial report, we still have cash there, so we can keep doing some other things in the meantime.
Friends has 130,000, don't they?
last I heard it was 80, but I don't, 80 earmarked for the building.
That's what I was told.
Okay. So that was some of these other donations we're looking at. I mean, we definitely have money to keep some things rolling.
That's an important thing.
And I did find, I told Bob I found potentially 2 architects that could give us a proposal to do the turnkey,
Gotcha.
which is a little different where we started with the last guy, because if we get the bulk of the funds, then we would, whatever remaining work needs done, I think if we have that money available, we would put it out for a single bid and have general contractors come bid on
Turnkey.
this scope of
Yeah.
work. And if we do that, we only need an architect to have the full
Set
set of plans so they can bid that work. And then the architect will administer the bid process and the project.
Right.
So it turns into a little more money there.
More money because of that process instead of trying to do it
So I think
as you, the general contractor.
that's something I'll be doing in the meantime too, is get some of those proposals, and maybe on the next agenda, if I get those in, we can discuss maybe pulling the trigger and get that process going.
To get those plans.
Yeah, and so by the time, hopefully the tax thing passes and we know we have money coming, we can start that process.
Right. I think after the first of the year, we really need to push on trying to get word out to the people that, you know, this is the way to invest in our youth,
Part of
as
that,
well as the adults, but.
part of that's our goal here. It's just when everyone's been coming in, everyone's very focused on the holidays.
Right.
I feel like it's just gonna get lost in the shuffle. But
Right.
really promote, yeah, as soon as we get back.
I think
So-
first week of January, I told Bob it'd probably be good if Becker, somebody can kind of put together a cool information
Flyer.
post to put on Facebook, and then everybody can
And
just.
do we need to, I mean, ahead of the election, maybe get some yard signs?
That might be something that we want to do too.
Or even just flyers, we can put up Builder Supply or City Hall or whatever. Because most of the voting population are gonna be
in town?
Do they put,
older adults, I would say.
do they put notices like this in the kids' backpacks?
They can if you get it approved through the superintendent's office. So that would be something, I'd be glad to make a call and check on that.
And Bob said they may be able to put a little notice in all the water bills that go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mentioned that last night,
Uh-huh.
that he would do that.
So yeah, I think we definitely want to get word out and try to get support on our side and let people know it's not just for the building, it's for the future of the library. And
Another thing that he wants to do is to have this group and the board meet in an informal place together.
well, I'd say if we do get that to happen, we do that sooner rather than later so we can get everybody on the same page with
Yeah.
marketing this
Yeah,
tax thing.
After the first of the year, right after the first of the year.
there you go. Yeah, because you want a good month to push it.
I think if Becca does put something together, that we reiterate the work that's been done, the private money that's been donated, the money that's still available to keep working
Right,
prior to that loan being available,
right,
so that people know that we're not just asking for a handout for the whole thing.
right.
You know, we're on our way.
We're making it work, it's just, it's a long process. Yeah,
And that this would put us on the fast track to completion.
yes, exactly. All right, item number 11, consideration and discussion regarding next steps of the new library renovation.
Like
I think
I-
you kind of touched
Oh,
that too.
okay, yeah, that was part, yeah. Did we have any other? I'm so sorry.
I kind
that
of
was part
jumped,
of the next steps.
I think I jumped ahead of that.
Okay.
So working on architects and then some of those small repairs on the back wall. And utilities, I need to bug Mr. Mandeville.
All right, right, item number 12, consideration, discussion, of possible action to approve resolution 27-2023, a resolution acknowledging donations of Linda A. Livingstone by naming a room or area of the library the Charlotte Perry Children's Room or Area. I make a motion we approve resolutions 27-2023.
She jumped on that back in 2017, I
I second.
Oh, I don't know why.
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Brian?
Yep.
And Charlotte.
All right, item number 13, consideration, discussion, of possible action to approve donor agreement with Robin Bailey, subject to city commission approval. Did you include that in our packet? Or?
Yes, it should be in
Okay,
there.
very good.
It's, and it should be behind Charlotte's. Because it says donor
There it is.
agreement,
I
and then
found it.
it's got a little written in part. The part right behind it is the email, because we didn't have where it's, she wants to name it after her mother, and we didn't have that on the actual donation agreement, so this email is stating that that's what she would like it named, and then we wrote it in there.
So is this the room we discussed?
Yes.
It's kind of the word.
The boardroom is now going to be named the Discovery Center. So it would be named the Ella Bailey Herald Discovery Center. And
This isn't the one that wanted the children's
Yes.
area that this is gonna be.
no, this is not who wanted, I don't think,
No,
this is somebody different.
right.
Yeah.
This is that room that's like behind the director's office, where that used to be labeled as the boardroom, but since we're not gonna have board meetings there.
But they had discussed using that area
Yes,
as
something else.
potentially,
But it's not the children's reading area,
story
children's
time room?
reading room.
No, so we had the children's reading area where all the books will be, and then the story time room, which is that other donor that approached us before Robin Bailey did. And that one's still earmarked, I think they're still working on that. Yeah, different donor, different room.
but they were thinking this room would be a room that they could use like
Oh, yeah.
STEAM
Like a vacant
type
space kind of,
activities
yeah.
in, make it, take it activities in, just a smaller area than using like that back room where it would be closer to the main hub of the library. It also would potentially be a room that they could house, things that they need to lock up and secure that they could still have access to for checkout or whatever.
Things like the laptops, any other special technology that we have come in.
Musical instruments,
Yeah.
things like that. I move we approve the donor agreement with Robin Bailey. I second.
Sorry, one second.
Why does that need city commission approval?
Because,
Move to approve this.
why
Who
do,
seconded? Sorry.
I did, yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I was yawning while I seconded it.
So going forward,
they're wanting to change the donation agreement to not a donation agreement, but to a
sponsorship.
sponsorship agreement.
If you're
And
fixing
because
it
this
to
is
a-
what I was handed, this is what I sent.
So why is it going for city
the city
commission?
commission.
I guess I'm confused by that, because the resolution doesn't say anything about going.
Well,
Well,
I
and the
think,
resolution predates this too, because the money's already been spent, and so it is up for the trust to honor that contribution.
It's already been spent or already received?
I believe both. I could be wrong.
Where
Because
was
it
it?
went to the trust. Well, it went to Friends, and then it went to the trust, and it's in the resolution.
yeah.
I believe it was used as matching funds for various projects.
Still doesn't answer why we have to have a donation agreement approved.
But the commission gets final approval when you tack a name onto city property. And that's something that they've been working on too with Parks and Rec, with sponsors going forward, things like banners. Go up to it for city commission approval.
All right, I moved, Melissa seconded.
Oh, I'm sorry, I need to do roll call, I'm so sorry. Linda?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Brian?
Yep.
And Charlotte?
Yes.
All right, item number 14, consideration and discussion regarding grant opportunities. Jennifer and I were not able to help Friends get the Sarkis grant submitted because Sarkis sent us a letter stating that at this time we did not qualify, I don't know, qualify is not the right word. We did not, our request was not something that they were looking for spending their money towards. They're looking at other avenues right now and really felt like that we should wait till the next open term to put in a grant at that point. So I told Jennifer, I agreed, that we should wait. We shouldn't force something that you don't have. And so that
For
was,
them to tell us that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And you don't know if you don't ask. And
What
so
about the T-Mobile? Is it time for us to,
I think when we see that our stuff is up and we can take some pictures and let them know it's been done, then I think we get right on top of that one. And I agree. I think that's a good plan. Definitely.
but that will be in,
Does it have, what's the timeline for it, the T-Mobile? Is it rolling, is it,
I do not know that.
okay.
when, construction guy, when would you think there would be a picture you could take of what we had done with the T-Mobile money?
First of March,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, you're talking 6 to 8 weeks for that, let alone getting all the other pieces in line.
I shall try to be patient.
I know.
It's hard.
I have a hard time asking people for money when we haven't seen the fruits of the labor
Yes.
used. But I do think that that's a potential for sure, Charlotte. Any other? All right, item number 15, new business. I don't believe we have any. And item number 16, adjourn.
I will so move.
Charlotte, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Charlotte,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
Brian,
Yep.
and Linda.
Yes.
All right. You go to the